move to your senior year, because again, I know that following those Outback Bowl seasons, 02 and 03 didn't go exactly like you guys hoped. Man, I think of some really, really close losses both those years and kind of just that far away. But I want to move to your senior year, 03, because again, the year where you by far made your biggest contribution. You start 4 games that year. I just want to hear about where you feel you evolved most as a player, because the final depth chart, like you said, you were 6'4", 250 your freshman year, I believe it was. 6'4", 286 as a senior. So obviously you got a lot bigger, faster, stronger. And like you said, early in your career, building that technique. Just talk about starting again those 4 games your senior year, being a big-time contributor, and where you think your game evolved most while you were at Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I think I faced some injuries in my career. I had reconstructive wrist surgery, and I had I tore up my shoulder against Kentucky.
Not
So
rare for an O lineman. Not rare for him to be
no,
banged up.
not at all. And so those were some setbacks I had. But one of the things that I felt that I brought to the team more than just contributing and playing all line and playing all 5 positions was during my time of injury, I was able to help develop younger players. And Nashawn Goddard, who played at the time with me, was a younger guy that I was able to help coach up and almost coached him up. I mean, did coach him up enough to take my position as the years went on, because he had more talent than I did. He was a better player than I was. And so, but I don't regret that. That's why I'm coaching today, because it kind of led me in my path of where I am today, because of the opportunity I've had to help develop younger guys, give them some advice, just kind of be more of a leader and a contributor to the team, and just understand the value of being a great teammate.
Yeah, well, let's move into that, Jeff, because obviously, again, you're the athletic director at Hammond High School, but also you're coaching football, offensive line coach at Hammond. And you guys, congratulations, by the way, on another state championship. The state titles just keep reeling off. You guys are just stacking them up now as we go. But seriously, fantastic job. You guys have obviously done a great job there. But I'll ask you, over your playing career, did you know at that point coaching was going to be a thing for you? Did you kind of know and feel like, hey, I want to do this full time as a coach someday, or when did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, I knew going into college I wanted to be in sports, because I'd been in sports my whole life. And
right.
Growing up, if you're a SEC caliber athlete, you've probably played every sport growing up, and you've probably been pretty good at them. And so my whole life revolved around sports. And I knew once I hit the field in the SEC that, these guys are pretty good, and I'm not nearly as good as these guys. So as time went on and I built a bond with our offensive line coach, I kind of moved in that direction, to the point that at the end of my career, I was actually offered a graduate assistant job under Skip Holtz at South Carolina. I had turned it down because I'd given Eric Kimry my word to come coach his offensive line in Hammond. So I didn't know how long I was going to do that, but it was an opportunity to keep me in the game and do something I love and be around the sport. Because, I mean, I have teammates that struggle because that's their only identity, was being an athlete their whole life. And when it's taken completely away, they don't know what to do. So I'm fortunate enough to be in the business. I love the business. I love the kids I work with. So yeah, just through my career, understanding the game and getting to know the knowledge of the game, I felt that I could give back to kids growing up and be successful in this business.
So what, you've been at Hammond, I guess, 16 years? Has it been that long?
So when Eric was hired, he brought me on as the offensive line coach, and I was like 22 years old.
Wow, that's awesome. So yeah, that's just so awesome to think, 2 former teammates, to grow into it and kind of do your thing. I was going to ask too, because I was taking a look back. I mean, you played every position on the offensive line at South Carolina at some point, center, guard, tackle, all of it. I'm sure that had to help you a lot in regards to coaching, because you literally know what everybody on that line of scrimmage is supposed to be doing. Because I've had, again, I know you kind of picked that, I had your former teammate John Strickland on, but I've had other guys too that played O-line, and I tell all of them, because I really pay respect to that. We all love to talk football, but unless you played offensive line, you don't really understand it. The intricacies that go into it, the complexities, like really understanding what the offensive line does. Because again, as you know, the only time the offensive line is recognized is when you mess up. You know what I mean? People don't understand really what goes into it. And I mean, it's a kudos to you guys for people that actually play the O-line. They're the unsung heroes of a football team, because I don't care how much football changes, you have to win on the line of scrimmage. But I'm sure, again, those experiences at South Carolina and being able to kind of play all over the place, I'm sure that helped you a lot as you kind of got your coaching career going, and still to this day coaching those young guys at Hammond.
Right, yeah, and listen, I knew my role at South Carolina. For many of the years, I was a 6th man, and I could fill in any game, any position, and I did that a lot. So just getting to know, and we run a very similar scheme here at Hammond that we ran I guess 20 years ago now at South Carolina. So yeah, just and there's a lot of technique to offensive line, and I'm sure John Strickland talked about it. I mean, we'd get our tails chewed out for a 6-inch step versus an 8-inch step. I mean, it's so technical and hand placement and things like that. And you're using some technique to try to trick the D lineman into what you want them to do. Just a lot of technique is things that people don't realize that go on up front. And so, and it's part of the game. When I watch a game, that's what I watch, and it'll take me to the ball. So that part of it has really helped me with coaching.